Alright, ebusuan for mu bibia kwa ba mfambra 2K ni sembloso owo YouTube so ase ebusuan ba ensem ahodo a ekoso no ana de besuma hwefo nyina me no kese no info bi a drop ensem ahodo bi aba betoja ebusuan medini nyina mu enchiremu eba besomo ewo channel so no mesa sansa na ubu ene ni die kwa se wunya subscribe from my YouTube channel ya na don sa abo subscribe button so we are now the bell notification icon so out for say be next time be a drop video our channel is fan say make video be enten maybe so check our next video so etwa so enya sem ketwa kra
has a formal question on Togo but he's already held a press conference and condemned me for not taking any action. And if you are going to be asking a question, I don't think it's fair to hold press conferences and attack the foreign minister when you know you are going to ask a question. So Mr. Speaker, I don't think that is conduct that is healthy. I remember that Speaker Okwe used to criticize that conduct. He said that if you are going to ask a minister a question, give the minister a fair hearing first. Hear him in Parliament before you go hold press conferences to condemn the minister. So that's just on a lighter note. I mean, the Speaker, I have made that point, so I would like to proceed to answer the question. Well, right, Honourable Speaker, it may be recalled that the National Assembly of Togo, by a majority vote, adopted a new constitution in March 2024, establishing the Fifth Republic and transitioning from a presidential to a parliamentary system. This represented a substantial departure from the previous constitution.
You just hold on. Let me
listening to the language, the English I'm talking. You have no what to about because.
Speaker, a while ago, the minister, having answered the questions excellently, in his attempt to answer agent question B in the name of the Honorable Asafoye, he prefixed his answers with some comment that the member had held a press conference and attacked him, and that if the member knew he was going to ask this question, he shouldn't have, and that is not fair on the part of the member to have attacked or hold a press conference before coming to ask him the question on the House floor. Speaker, in this House, we are regulated by our orders and the Constitution. I want to appeal to our minister and a colleague. That part of his answer or his prefix comment to his answer should be expunged from the records. Why? Because, Speaker, there is no provision in our orders that bars the member from holding a press conference. To ask a question is one of the tools that members have at their disposal to elicit response from ministers. So to say that if you know you are going to ask me a question, you shouldn't hold a press conference, it's not tenable. It's not tenable. It's not right. We can hold a press conference tomorrow or today and ask you a question the next day. That is admissible.
Thank you. I've heard you.
Speaker, yes, you have heard me, but Speaker, some consequential directive is welcome here.
But he said, honorable members, he said that the former speaker made a statement to that effect, that if you are going to bring a minister here to respond to a specific question, you don't, that's what he said. And Speaker, I don't intend to litigate on this matter. But to the extent that the minister, honorable minister, has not produced evidence to back his claim, we cannot accept that. We cannot. No, why? If you have something to say, get up and speak. I'm making my point. If you disagree with me, get up and make your point. Speaker, we insist. Speaker, with respect. Speaker, with respect. We on this side of the House, we insist that either the minister provides a backing to that statement, or you should stay clear and simply go ahead and answer his question.
We are not taking this kindly at all.
So let him go and answer the questions. Let Minister come and
he should
answer
take
the
it out from the
questions.
records. We should take it out from the record. Speaker, we should expunge that from the records, and then he can go ahead and answer his question.
That is what I'm unable to do.
Well, Speaker, why? Speaker, why?
That's what I'm
Speaker, it's
unable.
within your powers. We have not offended any of the rules.
Yes.
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 So he cannot tell us when to hold press conference.
Yes. Honorable. As much as you have not offended any of the rules, I don't think he has also offended any of the rules. So let him go on. So honorable, yes. Leader.
Speaker,
we have a lot to do.
Speaker, please. We are doing politics. He's playing politics. Speaker, we have a manner of answering questions in this house, clearly captured under Order 88. You may not like the minister's answer, but he has provided an answer to the question.
It wasn't an answer.
Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, please. He's saying that a part of the minister's answer be expunged. Yet he's not been able to establish that any part of the outstanding orders has been breached. And yet he's making a submission.
Honorable member, his application was turned down, so I don't see why we should go on.
Mr. Speaker,
we have a lot to do.
Let the records reflect that the minister's answer was parliamentary. He hasn't offended any part of outstanding orders. So, Mr. Minister, proceed to provide further answers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think my colleague, the majority chief whip, was not listening to the minister. The minister didn't even start answering the question. He said the member is aware he is going to ask this question, but he held a press conference to attack him. Mr. Speaker, if the minister cannot provide sections of the press conference that attack him, then that should be expunged from our record. Because it's not part of the answer, it's not part of the question. He said he held a press conference to attack him without answering the questions. So if he doesn't have evidence to that effect, and the member performing his function, which is outside the chamber, how can that be brought into the chamber to use against him? So the minister should answer the question. Mr. Speaker, you should expunge the part that says that the member held a press conference to attack him, because the member didn't attack him. He was speaking to issues that he think was necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I heard
which I invoked. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the House for the opportunity to respond to this question. It may be recalled that the National Assembly of Togo, by a majority vote, adopted a new constitution in March 2024, establishing the Fifth Republic and transitioning from a presidential to a parliamentary system. This represented a substantial departure from the previous constitution, which provided for the election of a president by universal suffrage with a two-term limit of 5 years each. Under the new constitution, His Excellency Foreigner Singbe was inaugurated as the President of the Council of Ministers, a newly created position held by the leader of the majority party in Parliament, with no specified term limit. This measure has been widely condemned by opposition factions, civil society organizations, youth groups, and Amnesty International as an attempt to extend his tenure in office. As a result, Mr. Speaker, this became the primary catalyst for the violent protests that took place in Lomé and its surrounding regions. Mass protests were reported to have occurred in Togo over recent weeks, culminating in violent clashes between law enforcement authorities and demonstrators from the 26th to the 28th of June 2025. The protests emerged as President Faure Gnassingbé faced mounting demands from critics for his resignation amidst constitutional amendments that could potentially extend his stay in power indefinitely. Civil society organizations and social media influencers organized these protests in response to the government's suppression of demonstrations held earlier in the month. Youth-led demonstrations organized via social media erupted in Lome and other urban centers on the 6th of June 2025. The demonstration was primarily triggered by recent constitutional modifications, which were regarded as an effort to prolong President Faure Gnassingbé's tenure indefinitely. Additionally, grievances prompting the violent protests include the apprehension of prominent musician Amaron, a Togolese rapper and activist known for his outspoken criticism of President Faure Gnassingbé's administration, deteriorating economic conditions, and high youth unemployment rates. While the demonstration was quite peaceful in the beginning, clashes with security personnel resulted in the deployment of tear gas and detention of approximately 80 individuals, comprising students, medical professionals, and civil society members. Of these, Mr. Speaker, 56 protesters were subsequently released on the 11th of June 2025. However, some individuals, including a French national whose identity remains undisclosed, continue to be in custody. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, journalists were reportedly subjected to physical mistreatment and compelled to delete footage from their devices during the demonstration. On June 16th, the government subsequently suspended Radio France Internationale and France 24 from broadcasting within Togo for 3 months, accusing them of incitement and disinformation. Additionally, the government invoked Law Number 2019-010, which prohibits unauthorized public gatherings. It accused the organizers of the protests of acting on the behalf of foreign interests with the intent to destabilize the state. Despite the prohibition, Mr. Speaker, spontaneous demonstrations emerged in multiple districts of Lome, including Bay, Kolembe, De La Paix, and along, Mr. Speaker, pardon me, and along the Oti Boulevard from June 26 to 28, 2025. Security personnel responded promptly and decisively, utilizing tear gas to disperse the protesters. The application of crowd control tactics incited panic among residents, resulting in disorderly scenes and fragmented movements. Throughout this period, the city experienced a substantial security presence, with nearly all businesses closed and markets left vacant. 4 individuals are reported to have lost their lives in Lome following violent clashes between security forces and anti-government demonstrators. According to local NGOs, the bodies of 7 persons were recovered from bodies of water in and around the districts of Akodeswa and Bay in Lome. The security personnel also purportedly carried out door-to-door operations, leading to arbitrary arrests and engendering fear and panic within the affected communities. Over 60 individuals, including students, activists, and health workers, were reportedly detained. 19 of those arrested were found guilty of aggravated public disorder by the public prosecutor and received a sentence of 12 months imprisonment, with 11 months suspended on July 4th, 2025. The remaining individuals, Mr. Speaker, were released due to the lack of sufficient evidence. Meanwhile, a government spokesperson attributed the fatalities to drowning, warning against the dissemination of unverified information. The protests, Mr. Speaker, have garnered criticism from regional observers and human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, which has urged for independent investigations into the deaths and the alleged abuses. The persistent lack of official acknowledgement regarding casualties and the use of force has intensified mistrust, leading to renewed calls for further demonstrations. Although there have been no reports of Ghanaian involvement in the fatalities, or arrests, the Togolese government decided to close all unofficial crossing points amid heightened security measures along the Ghana-Togo border on 2nd July 2025. This action restricted access to residents of border communities and other individuals who depend on these crossings for their daily activities. The decision was reportedly made due to concerns that the youth leaders behind the demonstrations from the 26th to the 28th of June have established operational bases in Ghana and are coordinating activities from across the border. Mr. Speaker, let me emphasize that the government of Ghana is not aware of Ghana serving as a base for any protester or any activist in Togo, and these claims are baseless and totally unfounded. Mr. Speaker, currently, only the main Aflao border and the Bit 9 pedestrian border post remain open to travelers. Meanwhile, the situation in Lomé remains calm, with businesses and offices, including the mission, operating normally.
Honorable, hold on. Honorable members, I have said this several times. It appears we are not listening to what the minister is saying. Please. Yes, Minister.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Currently, only the main Aflao border crossing and the Bit 9 pedestrian border post remain open to travelers. Meanwhile, the situation in Lomé remains calm, with businesses and offices, including the mission, operating normally without any hindrance to their activities. In a briefing to the diplomatic corps on 4th July 2025, the Foreign Minister of Togo, Professor Robert Doucet, reiterated the government's commitment to peace and security and assured the diplomatic community that the situation across the community remains stable and peaceful. Ghanaians living in Togo. Right Honourable Speaker, I am pleased to inform the House that there have been no report linking any Ghanaian national to the recent fatalities or arrests in Lomé. The cases currently under investigation by the Togolese authorities pertain to individuals whose activities do not involve any Ghanaian citizen. Our mission in Lomé continues to engage proactively with the relevant local authorities to monitor unfolding developments and uphold the safety and security of Ghanaian citizens in Togo. These engagements have included maintaining open and active channels of communication with Togolese law enforcement and immigration services, providing timely consular assistance and advisory support to Ghanaian nationals, particularly those in areas impacted by recent unrest, participating in regional security dialogues to strengthen mutual cooperation and advance the protection of the rights of Ghanaian residents. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our mission in Togo remains vigilant and responsive, reaffirming Ghana's diplomatic principles of non-interference, citizen protection, and constructive regional cooperation. It is pertinent, however, to observe that none of the diplomatic missions accredited to Togo have been closed down, and citizens from other countries have not been evacuated as a result of the protests. Should any development arise, Mr. Speaker, the mission is well positioned to act swiftly and transparently in the interests of all Ghanaian nationals. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes. Honorable.
The government of Ghana, as a founding member of ECOWAS and a pioneer of the Africa Union, which used to be the Organization of African Unity, the OAU. We have, within these two organizations, discussed the Togolese situation. And our position has been communicated in the various communiques that have been issued by the AU and ECOWAS. And beyond that, Mr. Speaker, we have the leadership of these organizations. The current leader of ECOWAS is the distinguished